3rd at 6 p.m. Fiscal officer will roll.
Wells.
Here.
Berger.
Here.
Canton.
Here.
Kavanaugh.
Here.
Stuckey.
Here.
Porter.
Here. Does any visitor would like to speak tonight? Please let me know now. Hearing none, I'll turn the floor over to Councilman Porter.
I'd like to do a third reading of an ordinance approving the fire protection and emergency medical service agreement between the Chagrin Falls Suburban Volunteer Firemen's Association and the Village of South Russell for a period of 3 years for fire protection and emergency medical services beginning January 1st, 2026 for the sum of $604,826.70. The sum of $677,405.91 for the year beginning January 1st, 2027, and the sum of $758,694.62 for the year beginning January 1st, 2028, authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement on behalf of the village, declaring an emergency. Third reading.
Any comments before we have a motion?
Motion to adopt.
We have some comments.
Comments? Okay.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to thank everyone being here today. Council, the council you voted for to keep an eye on your money. We just had the third reading of an ordinance that will cost you approximately $500,000 more for fire and EMS. Now, I like to consider myself to be fiscally responsible, especially with other people's money, you know. But I've heard you. I heard you all. And I don't know, I must have spoke to 105, 110 people. And there was a common thing. And the thing was, that's a lot of money, a big increase. Why is that such a big increase? But sign the contract. So this is what I'm going to do tonight. Against my better judgment, I'm going to hold my nose, and I'm going to vote yes for this ordinance. Then I'm going to go home, and I'm going to order a pair of testicles from Amazon.
Oh, gosh.
Okay? That's what I'm going to do. Should be here by tomorrow, perhaps in a brass box. That's how I feel about it. I've let the people down for the first time in 10 years by not having the political courage to do the right thing. 12 or 12 plus is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Nobody buys a car without getting a better price. Nobody buys a house without getting a better price. I yield the floor.
I have comments.
Go ahead.
Before we vote, these comments are for the record. Number one, I want to thank Councilman Canton for his comments tonight. They represent a level of honesty not often experienced in the political world. His students should take note and appreciate the rare gem they have in Jerry Canton. Two, I am not against Chagrin Valley Fire Department. Despite accusations by the mayor and others to the contrary, I am on the record stating my belief that CDFD has operationally done an exemplary job in servicing the needs of our village. I've never questioned their professionalism as firefighters and EMTs. Three, I have questioned and have serious reservations concerning the fiscal management within the CDFD and how it has been operated that has necessitated the unusually high increases in the proposed contract. As a private entity, CDFD has not been subject to the necessary oversight to ensure sound fiscal management and will not be subject to that needed oversight under the proposed agreement for the next 3 years. This is not the opinion of one person. Others in the field with considerable experience, as well as elected officials from other municipalities, have expressed the same concerns. I have been made aware that CDFD now projects for the current fiscal year an operating deficit of more than $600,000. I'm told that CDFD has funded the deficit by using capital reserve funds intended for major equipment purchases to fund its current operating deficit. I don't see how this could have happened in a single year. CDFD must have known the problem existed long before June of this year, yet did not inform the advisory board nor the member communities of their dire fiscal situation. There should have been oversight then. There needs to be oversight going forward. But there is no provision for enhanced oversight in the current proposal. I'm told the advisory board did not meet during the previous 3-year contract until June of 2025. If that is correct, I can only ask why. What is the purpose of an advisory board that doesn't provide oversight? The fact that CDFD has resisted and continues to resist the concept of a fire district for the member communities to own and manage a fire department and allow for transparency and proper oversight in their operations is all you need to know to understand that the financial foundation this organization is built upon is not stable. To those who would argue I'm only interested in finances and not community service, I would answer that any organization must be financially stable in order to function properly for the benefit of those it serves. If new equipment purchases have been deferred because of operating deficits, eventually old equipment must lead to degradation of services. Your 20-year-old car might function well. It might not. How dependable will it be when you go to start on a cold winter's morning? None of us know the answer, but we had all better ask the question. 4, I believe the additional expense burdened upon this village by this contract will be an unsustainable lodestone without additional taxation to the residents. In effect, approving this contract is an unfunded mandate, whereby this body agrees to spend funds it does not currently have, nor can expect to have in the future from existing sources. Additional funds will need to be raised from the taxpayers. Once again, we have the cart before the horse. We should have asked the taxpayers to approve a fire levy to support these expenses prior to committing the village to paying for them. 5, I have serious reservations about the process by which we have arrived at this vote. We have followed none of the good practices we as a council have insisted upon in every other operation of the village, including transparency, competitive bidding, and an open review process. I believe this contract is, and since the beginning, has been the product of a corrupt bargain. It was negotiated in secret, sold to the village without the benefit of a competitive bidding process. When council attempted to solicit competitive proposals to do its own due diligence, the mayor called out his people and shut it down. The process by which this contract comes to us reflects the worst possible disgrace upon this institution, its elected officials, and the village. I believe the ratification of this agreement legitimizes the unauthorized acts of the mayor and subjects us all to liability for approving such unauthorized acts. 6, council is now in an untenable position. Our residents need the reassurance that fire and EMS protection will go on uninterrupted as of 1 January 2026. Other townships have rightfully told council to, quote, go jump, a family-friendly version of the actual statement after the events of 2 weeks ago. And so, when a man has no options, he has no problems. His path is clear, regardless of the efficacy of that path. Only CDFD remains, and therefore, for the time being, I'm confident that this council will act under duress to approve this contract and allay the fears of its residents. Monies will somehow be found, I'm sure. Other projects delayed or terminated, and spending delayed or denied to meet the exigent circumstances created by this contract. And so it must be. Our future is undetermined. What happens tomorrow is unknown. What is absolutely clear is that the failure of this process by which we have arrived at this moment must not ever happen again. Whatever has happened to diminish the perception of integrity of council in our village It must stop, and those responsible must be held to account. These steps we must take to ensure our future success, no matter how painful or distasteful. This cleansing of corruption in our village must happen. I will say more at a later date, but for now, I will vote no.
Anyone else have comments? We have a motion, we started to have a motion.
I'm not pleased with the 12, 12, and 12. I think it's a real burden on the taxpayers here in the village. The fire department has done exemplary service. You gentlemen standing in the back, assistant chief, have done remarkable work. And I echo Chris Berger's comment about how remarkably excellent your department is. We don't have another proposal from anyone else at this time. And it is the end of October. And I am not going to vote against something that's going to deny coverage possibly to the residents of South Russell. And because of that, I will be voting in favor of this agreement. Mayor, I call the question.
I do have something to ask.
Look.
Mark Vetter, could you assure us that this advisory board will meet and let us know when that would be, even though we're signing a 3-year? Could we be involved in that? Mayor, are you not on the board that meets, or do I have it wrong?
No, I'm not on.
The contract allows the mayor to appoint a representative to the advisory board.
So I would like an assurance. I don't know if you stay chief, but I would like to make sure that we know that that's ongoing and should happen.
Yes, absolutely, and the contract does allow for examination of our books at any time.
Mm-hmm.
The village of South Russell has never asked for the benefit of doing that, but we certainly would welcome them to do that. South Russell pays less than half of what any other community in Geauga County that borders South Russell pays for fire and EMS protection. Less than half of that, so it's not an outrageous amount that's being asked here. I would remind council that they've enjoyed the benefit of paying less than half by being together with 5 other communities, and that they've seen economy of scale and benefit and enjoyed that. They're paying $500,000 for fire protection, even with the increases that are proposed, even with the Los Angeles billing money, even with the $60,000 for dispatching. In 2028, you will pay hundreds of thousands of dollars less than Bainbridge Township, than Russell Township, than Auburn Township, than Newberry Township, than any of the communities in this area. You have enjoyed the benefit of those savings for many, many years by doing the smart financial thing, by being good stewards of the money of the village of South Russell, and by joining together with 5 other communities to get economy of scale and provide high quality services for less money by having more communities together than just 1 or 2. So my answer is yes, we'd be happy to meet more frequently with you. No one's ever asked to meet more frequently, but we would love to do that. We think it's important to plan together.
I'm asking specifically about the advisory board and if you could notify us when
Absolutely.
that happens. Yeah.
I would encourage you to let us know how frequently you would like to meet, because we'll welcome any of that.
Okay. Thank you. And then the other thing, the firemen are paid, I think, lower than most surrounding communities. I don't know if that's an accurate, complete statement, but they're paid on the lower end of it, worse than
We are
nurses.
paid the least of any community.
Yeah.
In
I'd
this
like
area.
to see that climb with this increase.
And that was part of this proposal, which the members of council who attended the meetings that we had, which there were 3, know the reasons why this contract is going up this amount. If they didn't share that with the rest of the council, that's unfortunate. But I believe that all the handouts from that and all the paperwork from that was made available to all the council members as PowerPoint presentation. So there's no reason that when many members of this council attended the 3rd meeting and didn't ask any questions whatsoever about wanting to have more financial information, we could have certainly made it available at that time. That was the reason for the meetings. We were asking the councils to take a look at the challenges we had, and for them and their finance directors to offer suggestions. This was not pushed down anybody's throat. This was collectively agreed to by all the communities. All 5 other communities have signed their contracts and we have them in our possession. South Russell is the lone community that has not yet done that.
And Chagrin did it last week, I think.
Yes.
We have a council meeting on November the 10th. I expect to read about my unauthorized actions of this mayor in the Chagrin Valley Times, or expect an apology from you on November the 10th. We have a motion.
Roll call, Danielle, please.
Well, we didn't get a second.
I thought
Second.
Mark did. Mark seconded.
So Mark made the motion.
Second.
Thank you. Bell.
Aye.
Berger.
No,
Canton.
Aye.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Galicki.
Recuse.
Porter.
Aye.
That's 4.
Ordinance passes. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned at 6:15.